All right, welcome everybody to the first international edition of the Founders Table. Pull up a chair. I'm Nick Long.
This
God
dude's
damn
in France and Monaco like a fucking bigger shot for,
it.
for the F1 races.
Or F1, and actually we're out here for the Film Festival. Tonight I'm actually going to a dinner with a big family office. These guys invest a ton of money internationally, so it's going to be cool because there's going to be people pitching their opportunities. There's going to be people looking for investment, people looking to be acquired. So we're
So
going to
you're
be
there for
dressed
the
to the
Cannes
nines
Film
and hanging.
Festival too.
Yeah, for the Cannes Film Festival for the first couple of days, and then we head to Monaco tomorrow
Wow.
for F1.
And the French
Yeah,
Open starts on Sunday, dude.
well, nobody really cares about that, do they?
I mean, nobody cares about the fucking French Open. I care about the French Open, dude. This is Nate Dowell's last time playing in the French Open. I
Hey,
love tennis. You don't like tennis, do you?
I only care if the French bakery is open. Okay, that's the only thing. That's the only open French I care about. And you get my croissant,
Listen,
my daily
you have
croissant.
to you have to appreciate tennis because these guys are by themselves out there, and it's such a mental fucking game, dude. And the ebbs and flows of a tennis match that it's such a hard sport to play at that kind of level that you have to respect it. And I appreciate that sport so much because it's really one against one, dude. You can't even get coaching when you're on a tennis
Oh, I
court.
know.
During the break, you could talk to your coach, but that's it. Like you're out there on an island by yourself in your fucking head all the time.
No, no. I mean, I sort of experienced that with wrestling. You know, wrestling was an individual
Wrestling too,
sport, just
right?
man
Yeah.
to man. Yeah, I mean, it was really just whoever had the best mindset, the best skill set, uh, normally won the match. So, and speaking of winning the matches and winning the game of life and being on an island, you and I had a conversation like, man, like there's so many things that we struggle with as a founder. We always feel like someone's going to pull our card. Life's going to pull our card. You know, one of our vendors is going to pull our card. That trump card is going to come out of the deck.
I'll talk about it right now until you zap back in here. So, we decided to do things a little bit different because there's so many different things that happen on a daily basis. And so we researched and had the girls here research the top 100 things that founders struggle with. And from now on, every week, we're just going to pull a random couple cards out and just discuss that
Pull the
topic.
card, baby.
All right, we're going to pull a card right now and we're going to talk about it,
Let's
whatever it
see.
is.
Let's see.
Off the
This
hip,
is exciting.
no preparation. Dealing with seasonal fluctuations.
Ooh, ooh.
That's a good one.
This is a great one.
This is a great
Dealing
one.
with dealing with seasonal fluctuations. You know, I personally run into this a lot um, with the people I work with that we're taking to market to get their business acquired. In fact, it's one of the questions that is done in evaluation. Is your revenue consistent or is your revenue seasonal? You know, there's
And
a couple.
they all ask that all the time. Whenever I'm talking to any high level people or VC people or private equity, they always ask that: is your business seasonal? Do you have fluctuations in different seasons?
Right. Because they'd rather see lower consistent revenue than peaks and valleys because
Of
it's very
course.
hard to manage that from a cash flow perspective, you know?
Yeah.
And so dealing with the seasonal thing is one is if you're an entrepreneur, I would implore you not to go into a business that's geared for Christmas or Thanksgiving and you're jam packing in 90% of your revenue in 2 months. I would try to find a business that, is going to have consistent revenue. It's going to have an open market that you can be in and consistently grow in and not have a ton of concentration when it comes to customers and or time frame in the calendar.
Yeah.
Because this could be the kiss of death.
Yeah. For us, for our company, we don't normally deal with it. We're dealing with business owners, small business owners. They all need our marketing services. We're not a high ticket company, so we're more of a high volume, low ticket. So our threshold is it's a low barrier to entry. The prices aren't that high where, it's not going to hurt a business by paying their $199 a month. It's not like it's a big compared to other expenses they may have. But I will say that this past holiday, we did get hit a little bit more than usual compared to normal Christmas time blues over the past 10 years. For some reason, this last year one, we had a nice dip in sales for some reason. Besides that, we don't really have too many fluctuations at all. In fact, in the past, we've had sometimes our biggest month of the year was December. We even had a New Year's Eve that was one of the best days we ever had in sales 2 years ago. So I also it gets in people's heads too, especially running the kind of business that we run here and guys on the phones. If they start thinking it's Christmas time, guys don't want to buy, right? Then they start pitching that way and they buy into the potential customer's excuse. Oh, it's holidays. Call me back after the holidays. I got and like, look, our like I said, our product, one of the core products is $450. That's not going to impede you buying Christmas presents. We're dealing with all business.
Well, if it does, you probably shouldn't be in business.
Yeah, and that's not the right customer for us anyway. If 450 is going to break the bank for the guy, But if it's in the sales guys' heads, that it's Christmas time, we're going to get a lot more no's, and then you start to accept that and do this, I'll call you after the holiday thing, you're going to lose. So it's a lot of mental stuff, for us, but for a lot of businesses, like last year we went to a pumpkin farm. I remember I was talking to the owner of the pumpkin farm. I said, how do you guys, I'm like, what do you do the rest of the year? She's like, well, we do the pumpkin farm and then we do we do a little Thanksgiving thing and then we do the Christmas tree farm. She's like, and that's it. I'm like, that's it? I'm like, you just work for 3 months out of the year? She's like, pretty much. And for 9 months, they're not really doing anything, so
Except for prepping and taking some time off.
I know you could probably make good money in those 3 months, but can you really make that much money that you're good for now 9 months of no income? Unless you have a subpar living standard of living and expenses. I can't imagine that being successful.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. I mean, the thing is one is, like I said, is not to go into a business that is seasonal. I mean, I think the fastest way to deal with seasonality is to make sure that you're in a business that's needed, desired, wanted, and bought, year round. I mean, that's part one. Part two is, if you do find yourself in a seasonal business, is figuring out ways to either monetize more with the same customers you have, and or start to put in a different product that you can normalize that seasonality. Because I'll tell you this, seasonality will kill like your cash flow, seasonality will kill your morale, and seasonality will kill your overall valuation when you do go to market, because they don't want that fluctuation. They want consistent cash flow. They want consistent buying patterns, and they want to be able to monetize month over month and be able to predict revenue. Like in my world, what makes a business equitable is a predictable, profitable, scalable, transferable business is at the peak of its equity value. And so not having seasonality is a major, major thing. And I don't get it when people pick businesses like, oh yeah, we do all of our revenue in the last quarter. It's like, I'd lose my mind.
Yeah, sometimes it's what they know. Landscapers on the East Coast in the winter, they got to pivot to plowing, right? And then I had a lot of friends of mine on the East Coast. And then what happens is sometimes you don't have a bad snow winter, where it doesn't snow that much. Now you get a landscaper, all the bushes and then the lawns are dead for the winter. It's fucking freezing out. They're waiting for these blizzards to come where they're working 24 hours a day for 3 days straight and picking up some cash. And sometimes those blizzards don't come. And you had a good winter with not a lot of snow. Good winter for people, bad winter for landscapers.
Business.
For business who moved to plowing. I had a buddy of mine, Lou, he would like be praying for,
Hey, of course, your buddy from the East Coast was named Lou.
Yeah, yeah. Lou.
How many Lou's do you know?
He's actually in my phone. He's Lou the landscaper. I'm not even kidding. He's a
Tony,
good friend
Tony
of
the toe, Lou the
Yep.
landscape,
mine. And he'd be
Larry
waiting.
the left.
He'd be waiting for like a 6 foot 3 day fucking blizzard. And then he'd be like, no sleep for 60 hours straight and go plow and go make a quick like 20, 30 G's, plow
Wow,
into commercial property. Yeah, but sometimes it don't fucking snow. So it
that's
happens.
crazy.
And then you're like,
Yeah.
you're sucking air waiting for it to get sunny out. So the grass gets green. So someone wants their fucking lawn cut again, So
I mean,
that's a very seasonal business.
yeah, sometimes it doesn't snow, but there's always rainy days as an entrepreneur, and that's why, like, if you do have any business, whether it be a moderately seasonal, a mostly seasonal, or no seasonal business, you have to prepare for the drought. Like, because I think every business has a season that it actually goes through, a dip. It goes through where the revenue's just not where they want it to be, and so
Yep.
I think part of the way you deal with seasonality is like understanding your margins, making sure you're profitable, kind of operating within your means, and then having some formative amount of capital in the bank. I mean, typical rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months. So you take whatever your burn rate is and you
Yep.
throw 3 to 6 months. You don't want less and you don't want more than 3 to 6 months, because then you're not putting the capital to work. But if you have less than 3 months, I mean, you're kind of like, oh shit, something, you fart in the wrong direction and you could be out of business.
I'll tell you, I'll give you a great example. Kevin and I, before we started APN for a couple of years, we were selling a lot of stuff on Amazon. So we started making these plastic toy storage organizers, right? That could fit like kids' toys. They're little mini fucking Peppa Pigs and their little mini dolls and their little trolls and and we made all different sizes and compartments, and we tried to scale it out. And then we did scale it out. And then we got a mold in China made, and we started to manufacture the boxes ourselves and get them imported. And we sold them on Amazon FBA. We had a warehouse in Clifton down the road that used to send them into Amazon. We had a whole system around it, right? The problem was that because all the plastic organizers were meant to hold kids' toys, fidget spinners back then, anything, video games, and we made all kinds of different size boxes. But because primarily they were revolved around kids' toys, right? And from Black Friday all the way to January like 10th, we would do more sales than the rest of the year times 3. Right?
Wow.
But there's the problem, is that you got to get the inventory in on time, right? And Amazon only allowed a certain amount of inventory in their warehouses. So you literally had to time this out. You had to make sure you laid out all the fucking money to get the boxes in on time from China, right? Because now you gotta outlay all that cash to make them, get them, and then hope to sell through. Then you gotta time out your shipments, right? Your shipments to Amazon, because you can only store a certain amount inside their warehouses. And then on top of that, you had to try to forecast how many sales you were going to make, because if you ran out of inventory back then, I'm talking about 30, 40,000 a day in sales would come in, right? Every day, 20,000, 30,000. So if you ran out of inventory for one day, literally you lost 20, 30 grand that day. So we're sending in boxes, trying to time it out, not run out of inventory. There was one year where like we ran out like December 18th. Like we just had
Wow.
we under forecasted. We ran out of boxes and we were beat. And then 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, we had no inventory, 20, 30 grand a day gone. It was like 80, 100K lost by not having enough stock. That's a fucking seasonal business.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But I think the overarching point is like, try to have a business that's not seasonal. 1, 2,
Yeah.
if you do have a seasonal business, figure out products that you can fill in the gap, right? And then if you can't fill in the gap, make sure you fill up the bank and make sure that you have the extra liquidity so that you don't go nuts as a founder, because there's nothing worse than running a business that's running out of cash. I mean, that's like, it's anxiety central. And you talk about seasons, your stress will be in seasons. You'll be like, on top of the world, then you'll be bottom of the barrel. And that up and down is a killer. It's
Killer.
really a killer to confidence, to clarity, to creativity. And so life is about normalizing the seasonality in general, but then trying to figure out like how, when you are in a season, you're prepared for it.
I agree, man. This is good, man. This is a good first pull.
Yeah, that's a great first card, man. That's a great first card.
We'll continue on Monday. We'll pull another one while you're in France, and then you'll be back the Monday afterwards, and we'll get back to the studio.
Yeah, that'd be great. And hopefully this, you know, one card down.
One card, 99 more to go.
99 more to go. 99 problems, and being a founder is simply one. And this is the problems that you chose. This is the path that you chose. But here's the thing with the founders table. You're never alone. Pull up a chair. We'll pull your card, and we will give you the guidance that you need to outlast the rainy season and the droughts.
Yo, take videos of the F1.
I will, man. I'll see you. And as
Later,
they say
bro.
in French, au revoir.
See you later.